I take the day off to look for He-Man figures, and there's all this Shang-Chi drama. Wow, I missed a lot. Hello, everyone. We'll wrap it up today. I'm Mecha. Shang-Chi is going to be an interesting experiment of whether people still give a crap about the MCU. I'm a consumer advocate. So, backstory. ScarJo sued Disney because Black Widow underperformed at the box office, according to her, by being released same day only. There was rumors of people like Emma Stone possibly suing because of Cruella. That also got released same day. Turns out, though, she is starring in the sequel, and I'll probably pop up a screenshot of the article for that. She's going to be starring in the sequel, so she probably negotiated a much higher salary rather than suing Disney. ScarJo's already done with the character. She doesn't care, but Emma Stone still has probably a few sequels that they are probably going to be pushing on us. Thanks a lot, Disney, for Cruella. The one you want to hear about, though, it's all related, is the Shang-Chi stuff. Well, because of all that, it seems that Disney and their CEO took a giant course correction and said, hey, we're going to throw Shang-Chi in the theaters for 45 days exclusively in the theaters, and then we'll stick it on it. Well, it's going to be an experiment. It is. Fans are already criticizing it, though, because who is a fan of Shang-Chi, right? Who's a fan yet? We don't know this character. Who's a fan of Shang-Chi yet, except maybe a few diehard comic fans? Fans have taken to Twitter to criticize Disney for making Shang-Chi's release exclusive to theaters. Yeah, I mean, that does kind of suck, because then I'm going to have to, if I want to review it, which I don't think I do, drag my butt to the theater, and I don't think this movie's going to be worth it. Oh, and they're concerned about the if I wasn't going to be banned for going on a tangent, I would probably say that that's just a lazy, crapping excuse. They did that for Suicide Squad, too. But no, I'm not allowed to talk about that, except maybe live sometimes. Subscribe if you're new, and definitely hit the bell for I go live randomly. So they're criticizing it and they're reeing, and this is basically, in my opinion, laying some groundwork to get some articles like what Suicide Squad had recently when they were blaming their low box office totals on, the anti-vaxxers are gonna get me. So that's what they were complaining about and whining about there. There's more. There's more. It is hypocritical after the ScarJo response. Is it? A little, yeah. It's a little hypocritical because they said, no. Scarlett, so we've got Screen Rant criticizing Disney. Wow. Mainstream media is not having it. They are not going to defend Disney. Did their check not clear? I wonder. Disney's decision to release Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Well, your title's too long. In the movie theater seems astonishingly hypocritical, following the company's comments on Scarlett Johansson's recent lawsuit. Yeah, they were basically trying to throw her under the bus. The company's announcement that the latest Marvel Cinematic Universe movie would not see simultaneous release on Disney Plus has also drawn backfire for being short-sighted in the wake of the spiking new Gotta interrupt my train of thought. I have heard rumors that Bob Chapek is allegedly fixing things behind the scenes. Now, I was always under the impression that he was the guy who's kind of pushed in as a patsy to take the fall for 2020, 2021, any backlash from this giant scary thing that was coming out of China in 2019 that we were hearing about. And I think that Bob Iger probably said, you know what, let me step aside, because remember, he stepped down pretty early in 2020. Stepped down mysteriously when we were hearing news that, So he stepped down. Bob Iger stepped down. Bob Chapek came in. I don't think that Bob Chapek is doing this for any other reason than protecting them from being sued. And there's more to this. Not only that, Bob Chapek called this an experiment. An experiment. Chapek made the remark during an earnings call Thursday while discussing the conglomerate's future plans for theatrical releases, calling Shang-Chi an interesting experiment for us. He doesn't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what the crap they're doing. As the film only has a 45-day theatrical window, Shang-Chi, along with Free Guy released Friday, will not be made available on Disney Premier Access, despite the ongoing coof. Well, the star fired back at the Disney CEO, according to The Hollywood Reporter. We are the celebration of culture and joy that will preserve After an embattled year, the Marvel star says. Is that how he clapped back? Let's see. Let's find it. Oh, here it is. It's on his Twitter. We are not an experiment. We are the underdog, the underestimated. We are ceiling breakers. You're like the third movie that's exactly the same plot in what, 2 months? So get over yourself. I guess Mortal Kombat was what, last spring? You're kind of, and no, I know it doesn't have the same plot, but it's so similar to the normies and the audience members, right? Because you know you're gonna get all the people who are like super huge Marvel or Mortal Kombat or Snake Eyes fans, and they're gonna be like, they're totally different movies. You're just an Ian and re. They're so similar to normies, though. They're pretty much these kind of basic-y martial artsy movies, whereas the Marvel one's probably going to be the name brand, whereas the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes one was kind of the knockoff. You're kind of the equivalent of maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, where they're like, we don't know what else to do. Sure, let's let people dig up this character and make a movie of it. This isn't a character that is going to be a household name instantaneously. Heck, Captain America wasn't a household name instantaneously. There's a lot of normies who had never crapping heard of him until the movies, myself included. So we're the celebration of culture and joy that will preserve after an embattled year. We're the surprise. I'm fired the fuck up to make history on September 3rd joint. So this is just him having some... It doesn't really seem like he's that much of a fire back. It's basically saying, no, we're not an experiment. We're an underdog. I think it is kind of an experiment. I think it is kind of an experiment to see how many people are actually going to show up to a brand new Marvel movie. I'm curious to see what the box office totals are. But you know, there's been some back and forth, and this is really the funny one. This movie went from being the next Black Panther at the box office, just what, a few months back in May, could be the next Black Panther at the box office because representation and diversity, and we're going to manipulate people into thinking that this is a movement? Is that what it, no? Or is it going to be the biggest crapping flop of Marvel? Which one is it? Can we make up our minds? Because this is some long shot gambling odds. Now, being somebody who lived in Vegas for about 12 years, yeah, he's kind of right. This is the underdog when we're seeing such a complete shift in the narrative of, oh, it's going to be the next Black Panther. It's going to be the movement. It's going to be the biggest thing to it could have the worst one. Like I said, normies don't care. People, there's another factor. People might not want to risk getting sick in the theater just in case, because we don't know what the crowd to believe anymore. We're hearing contradicting information from everybody, depending on what location you're in, depending on what store you go into, depending on if you're eating, if you're not, who the crap knows? After a year of being without movies in the theaters, we've lost the habit. We've realized that no, we don't actually need to go and see every movie in the theater. Movies aren't mandatory. They're forgetting these movies aren't the be-all end-all anymore, and once you kind of cut off the supply, you know, you no longer have that immediate sugar rush to the next one. Because that's how they were making these movies. Every month, it was a new Marvel movie. Oh, now there's a new one, and now there's a new one. And you didn't have time to decompress. And you were just chasing the next high. You were chasing the next sugar rush. And that's what these movies are. They're fun. They're popcorn movies. They're bright, colorful, you know, massively produced, big product. They're like the pop music, right? And there's nothing wrong if you actually like that stuff. But you know me, I'm kind of a hipster and don't like anything that isn't, you know, from a guy in a field with a dulcimer.
Why are they? What do they mean?
I'm Mecha. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.